Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania is one of America's best amusement parks with so many great roller coasters, possibly the best coaster collection in the entire world. And it's my favorite park that I've ever been to. It was the park that made me a coaster enthusiast, and now that I've been there a few times and ridden every single roller coaster there, including the original GCI 1996 Wildcat, I thought in this video I should take all the roller coasters and rank them from worst to best. Starting at number 14 is Coco Cruiser, the park's Zamperla gravity coaster. This is okay. I got really stapled, so it hurt a lot, but even if I wasn't stapled, I still feel like this is a below average kiddie coaster, and I would definitely much prefer something like an ENF Miler or a Zier Force. But it's just a kiddie coaster, so it really doesn't matter too much. Next up at the number 13 spot is Wild Mouse. It's been a while since I rode this coaster, but from what I remember, it was an average Wild Mouse, but these coasters they're really not my favorite, so that's why I had to rank it this low. At number 12 is Trailblazer, the Aero Mine Train. Once again, it's been a while since I rode this one, but it gave great views of Stormrunner and the ending helix was pretty cool. And it's a great coaster to introduce younger riders to a family coaster, instead of a kiddie coaster like Coco Cruiser. Number 11 is Super Duper Looper. This was the East Coast's first looping coaster, but for how old it is, it's a pretty good roller coaster. It definitely is a little bit janky, but that's part of the fun with an old Schwarzkopf like this. And the loop is really intense and easily the best part of the ride. And it also has a great setting in the woods. Up next is where the old Wildcat would have been. I rode this coaster as a GP, so I really don't remember about how much airtime it had, but I do remember it being very rough. I still rode it a few times, but I don't remember liking it that much, and the only reason I rode it was because I used it as a warm-up because I was scared of the bigger roller coasters back then. At number 10 is Lightning Racer. I really don't get the hype around this coaster. The fact that it duels is really cool, especially because it actually duels every time, but it just is kind of a boring layout. Some of the turns are really slow, and there's no airtime at all, at least when I rode it. The drop is the only element even close to giving airtime, and it's definitely the best part of the ride. But the rest just isn't as good as I expected it to be. At the number 9 spot is Jolly Rancher Remix. I only rode this coaster as Sidewinder, but from what I remember, it was really good. And I actually do like the boomerang layout, but the headbanging just completely ruins the ride. But that's why this is easily my favorite boomerang, because it has vest restraints. And on top of all that, this one has really cool Jolly Rancher theming, with a scented flavor tunnel and really cool station music. This probably enhances the ride a lot, even though I hate Jolly Ranchers. Number 8 is Laugh Track. What the park did with this one is really cool because they took a clone and put it in a building and then put some really cool theming on the walls. But for the layout itself, this is a really good family coaster. But even though this one seems to be a lot less intense than Whirlwind at Seabreeze, which is the one I'm used to, it's still a great fit at this park, and Whirlwind might actually be a little bit too intense for some families, so it makes sense why they would want to make the spinning happen a little bit less and break it a little bit more. At number 7 is Comet. This is a great PTC wooden roller coaster and my favorite wooden coaster at Hersheypark in its recent history. They did sadly get rid of the buzz bars, but I remember having a lot of room and getting a lot of airtime. It was all floater, but still very good. And I will be riding Phoenix at Knoebel soon, so hopefully I can get a better feel for what these PTC Buzz Bar coasters are like. And now we are at what most people agree on as the insane top 6, but a lot of people just put the coasters in different orders. And for me, I decided to put Great Bear at the number 6 spot. This is a very weird layout because of the space they had to work with, but it gives this ride a lot of character. Not to mention, it has a great setting in my favorite area of the park. And it has 4 very intense inversions, my favorite one being the really snappy 0G roll. And the fact that this is my least favorite B&M invert shows just how good this model is. But that's probably also because the only ones I've ridden are Montu at Busch Gardens Tampa and Raptor at Cedar Point. Coming in at the number 5 spot is Fahrenheit, the park's Intamin vertical lift coaster. This is also a very weird roller coaster. Usually when you see a coaster with a vertical lift, it's from Gerstlauer, so it's really weird to see an Intamin version. But for the coaster itself, it has some really good elements like the first drop, Norwegian loop, and finally, the camelback. But the rest of the elements are mostly just filler, and the Cobra roll also has a very noticeable rattle to it, so I don't know what that was about. I do find the coaster to be a little bit overrated compared to how much some people like it, but it's still a very good supporting coaster at Hersheypark. Number 4 is Candymonium, the park's tallest and fastest roller coaster, and also the smoothest coaster. You feel like you are riding on a cloud because it's that smooth. And the graceful floater airtime just adds to that sensation. Some of my favorite moments are the drop, first airtime hill, and the outer bank, which feels very weird on a B&M, and very cool with the non-restrictive clamshell restraints. I also love how the final helix goes around the Kisses fountain and makes a great impression when you first walk into the park. Coming in at the number 3 spot is Storm Runner, the crazy Intamin hydraulic launch coaster. This coaster might be short, but it uses every bit of its track to its full potential. It is easily my favorite launch I've ever experienced, especially in the front row. And it might even be my favorite moment in the park, just going from 0 to 72 miles per hour in only 2 seconds. It just feels completely insane. Not to mention, you have one of the best top hats in the world, with very powerful sustained ejector airtime on the way down, and crushing positive G's in the valley. Another moment I can't forget about is the flying snake dive, which is easily one of my favorite inversions I've ever experienced. And now we are at the top 2. I feel like most people can agree on what the top 2 is in this park, but like in my Six Flags New England ranking, most people have different opinions on which one is better. But in my opinion, at the number 2 spot, I've decided to go with Sky Rush. If I had to describe this coaster in one word, it would be intense, because that's what this coaster is. It's one of the most intense roller coasters in the world. Crazy airtime, crazy positives, and crazy laterals all in one ride. But on top of all that, there's barely any upper body support, at least with the old restraints, so you would just get thrown around for the entire ride, and I can't get enough of it. It has to have one of my favorite drops in the entire world, because it starts with good ejector airtime, but halfway down there's a kink that completely launches you even further into the air, and it's a feeling that you really can't get on any other coaster. I can't wait to get back on this coaster, and hopefully when I do, I won't have to rank it lower because of the new restraints. And you could probably guess at this point what number 1 is. It's Wildcat's Revenge, the RMC hybrid conversion of the old Wildcat. I don't think anyone expected this coaster to be so good. This is one of the most aggressive ejector airtime machines in the entire world. There are so many elements, and everyone chooses a different one as their favorite on the ride. For me, it's between the first camelback, the second wave turn, and the turning double down. But one thing I do know is that they are all world-class strong ejector moments that even rival some of the best moments on Iron Gwazi. And the rest of the ride can't be slept on either. You have a crazy first drop, 4 great inversions, another crazy wave turn, and some rip your face off ejector hills into the brakes. So that concludes my ranking of every coaster at Hersheypark. It is actually unfair how good of a lineup this park has. And it's also crazy how everyone seems to have a different list. So comment your list down below, and if you enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.